I got it. Thank you.
You walked it?
I obviously look like a Coca-Cola sort of guy.
Yeah.
I'll
Gotta
do that.
spill that.
So hello, good morning. We're here this morning in the Little Wonder Cafe in the shadow of the Emirates Stadium, home of Arsenal Football Club. And I'm here with the designer, Bertan Kılçcıoğlu. Did I get that right? Good. And we're going to be talking about design and football, the influences and challenges that Bertan faces as a designer working in football. So how did you get interested in design?
I think you could say there were things that I would pick up as a kid, especially while we're watching football, like the on-screen graphics when they changed every season. I was very excited about those. It felt like a weird gimmick. It's something that a quirky thing I did. I didn't know it was about design. It's something I noticed, something I enjoyed. Like especially Italia 90s, the first World Cup I remember. Those had iconic graphics. They even look good today. And compared to what we had in Turkey in 1990, they were just a mile ahead. And I remember noticing those. These are amazing. What's this? But it was such a weird thing that I wouldn't really share with anyone. So the kind of things I picked up. And then when I took the university entrance exam in Turkey, I was 18. I didn't know what I want to study. Sabancı University was they were coming. They were like, it was their third year, and they were sending out invites to basically. So they sent me an invitation. I had basically nothing to do that day. I said, all right, yeah, let's go. I didn't think of going there. Like, their program was different than what everyone has in Turkey. Yeah. So it was basically 2 years. Everyone's pretty much studying the same thing. And after 2 years, you decide what you want to do. I said, I don't know what I want to study. Yeah, that is perfect. And they talked about the visual communication design program, and I was this is it. This is what I want to study. I didn't know, honestly, to that day, I didn't know I want to study design. And then when they kind of explained it, okay, all those weird things I kind of noticed up until this point about design.
Did you have to present like a portfolio of work?
No, that's one of the good things about that program. It didn't require anything, any portfolio, any like secondary exam, like most of the design programs I learned later on.
But you were one of these kids that was always scribbling in a notebook and making drawings.
Kind of. My freehand work is horrid. It's really horrid. So that kind of everything clicked. Like if I was like 5-10 years older, I probably wouldn't be able to study design because then it was much more, software wasn't up to the thing. So Photoshop was now pretty much dominant, and like other designs we had to create. And at that point, when I got into school in 2001, and at that point, design was pretty much software based. So that allows me to have an undo button, so I can just do things over and over again until I was happy. We had like drawing classes, and I took those, and I was never very good for them. And so I waited until like I had those prerequisite classes, passed them, and then finally in the third year we got into like Design 201, which was build software, the Photoshop and everything.
So the move to digital was like a huge advantage for you because you had those skills that like the digital skills, like the IT skills that you could transfer because you had like a visual imagination, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, even in nursery they had these little cars, and it's just like they would obviously give to my parents like, okay, the thing that he's poor at is like working with his hands, motor skills.
Oh, motor skills.
Fine motor skills. Not this. So obviously if I was like 5 years older, it was 10 probably. It's like pretty much cut, paste. Here. It's just a big one.
Wow.
This is for
I did much.
water.
Right, I'm going to take a bite.
Yeah.
Come back to it. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm old enough to remember my introduction to design was we actually had what was called design and technology, and we had big boards, like the old-fashioned one. It was like the early 20th century, and we'd have like rulers and pens. The first thing they got us doing was designing or drawing brands like Volkswagen. A very typical exercise. So we did design a football logo, a football shirt logo. So that was one of the classic exercises. So you were interested in football as a fan, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you first start combining the two? So working as a designer and working in football?
In 2000, 15.
So you've been working as a designer for like 10 years, maybe. Then.
Yeah.
Where were you? Were you working at an agency or?
So I was working at, there was a Turkish comics magazine called Penguin,
Okay.
and they just started a kids version, Super Penguin.
Super penguin.
Yeah, that's basically it, Super Penguin. So that was starting up. I got there in 2014. I think that's my professional entry into editorial design as well. So I did some magazine work at school, but never like professionally. Right when I got in there, I got a call from my friend saying that making this new sports magazine, it's a general sports magazine called Socrates,
Yeah.
and they need a designer. Do you want in? And I'm like, oh my God, this is a horrible, but the worst timing ever. Because I just got into Super Penguin, and I said, I have to pass. I just got started. This is the first, we're just getting going on. And I said, so basically they said, can you recommend them? And I had a friend from uni, Oya, who's a great designer. She wasn't very much into sports, but she was a very great designer. And I said, I'll forward you to her. So they kind of, took them around like 6 months to get going, and then they started on a year late after this, like 2015. They're into like 5th, 6th issue now, and Oya wants them to try new things. And I'm kind of put out like 12 issues, 11 issues, 12 issues of Super Penguin. It's quite settled. I want a new challenge as well. So it works perfect. Basically, I put an inside man to hold that job for me. 6 issues in, she goes out, I'm in. So that's how I got in there. So we designed the 6th issue together with Oya, and then from 7th issue onwards, I was alone.
It was interesting that you were saying about that. So someone was doing the job that wasn't into football. Do you think you have to be into football to work?
No.
In the design field? Is it when necessary?
I think it helps.
Yeah?
It helps, but it's not necessary now.
Why does it help?
First of all, doing background research was for fun. But have an article, start reading that, and then get lost in Wikipedia, just jump, oh, he did that, or she did that, or well. So that was always fun part of the project, working there. And also, you would have these things. You would pick up the things you shouldn't do much easily. Like if I'm writing about players you should avoid in an article, like colors you should avoid.
Oh, yeah.
Things like, if you're not familiar with the subject, someone should go tell those to you, explain those, you should avoid them sometime after you did the work. But when you know the subject, then okay, I should stay away from that. Or you're looking for images, there's someone in the background, oh no, there's like...
There's like cultural knowledge that's sometimes useful for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are your influences then as a designer? What do you think the influences are? So you're picking things from different sources, but have you got any fixed points? So if you're on a job, you're taking reference points from any source that you can. Have you got things that really kind of are with you always? Like a certain other designers or schools of design that you learn?
I'm horrible with, when people have these designers they mention, I look up to that, I'm really bad with stuff. Basically, I look around, I save stuff, browse online, I save stuff that I enjoy, kind of put them in different folders about different things. And then when I need inspiration, I kind of have to go over those and, I did this, they did that. One person I do remember is because Mike McQuaid.
Okay.
But I always do work and it's just something to collect, and I just realized it. And actually, I don't remember what the issue was, but you could. It was a Jordan issue, Michael Jordan issue. We did with Socrates. It was 16, 17, something like that. You can really see a shift in my work because I could, this is brilliant. Or you try to stay clear from ripping off people, but you always bring in inspiration. So I think if I have to name someone, he's the one that his work really inspired me in that sense. And just
so when you came to these, I'll come back to the art, so I'm thinking a bit. But just in terms of those designers versus in your research, did you have to look at a lot of, because there's like a really rich culture magazines and programs and football culture. Did you look at a lot of those kind of like old visuals? I'm thinking not that old, like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or did any of that kind of come into your...
I think mostly when I'm doing period pieces, say something about 70s, then you would definitely, because when you look at 70s design, you just, okay, this is 70s. And then when you're doing something now that's inspired by the 70s or that's just supposed to look like 70s, you try to go back and figure out why do I know this is from the 70s? what's giving it away, and it's mostly typography is one of the things that kind of gives away. Images, because like Socrates was a sports magazine, it's always good to like those 80s NBA images are amazing. It has this weird depth, and I read somewhere that it was because people were smoking inside. So in the background there's just
And the
haze.
crowds are just so dense. Yeah.
Yeah, so these cameras were different, or the image quality was different, the analog cameras. So there's these things that give away. So you kind of try to mimic those. In general, yeah, and there's like modern stuff, I guess.
Do you think British audiences are like a little bit more nostalgic maybe than audiences? I mean, football now, so football consumers, so however you want to put it, football audiences are a little bit more nostalgic in the UK than they are in Turkey.
Might be in a sense because 20, 30 years, 20 years ago, so for a couple of almost 24 years ago. Apart from that, in the 90s, like Turkish teams were that successful in Europe. So obviously everyone's kind of nostalgic. Maybe in that sense because Turkish teams weren't that successful, especially national team were successful in the 90s. So you miss some of the stuff, but you kind of use, especially in the national team sense, Turkey is much more successful now.
I think this is interesting. We were talking before about this idea of like maybe fans go on a journey in terms of like football culture.
Yeah.
So I was talking about a young boy, teenage boy, and I know a few, they're obsessed with the Premier League. It's all about the Premier League as opposed to like the wider football culture.
Yeah.
And maybe that comes with age. And with age, there's always this idea that somehow it was always better yesterday.
Yeah.
There's like these two competing audiences, and I wonder, is it necessary to bridge them, or do you, are you just focusing on the Premier League fans, the Arsenal fans, the Arsenal fans, who are not that bothered about like, they just want, it's Arsenal now, it's whoever, I don't know, what was the kind of brief you worked towards?
With the program, it's very broad. It's everyone that goes to the stadium watching games. So basically all the Arsenal fans. But obviously things, okay, this is targeted towards this age group. This is targeted towards females or whatever. So there are different things happening. I also was thinking about the previous question in the back of my head.
Go over it.
I think one major difference between nostalgia between UK fans and Turkish fans, big money hasn't entered football in Turkey in a sense as in the UK. So the Turkish clubs, as far as I know, can't be owned by people. So that has changed dramatically already, like entities or people owning clubs. That hasn't happened in Turkey. So I guess here fans have more nostalgia towards the good old days.
Yeah, so they want the success.
Yeah.
But they also kind of like feel like a loss of ownership maybe over the...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so this morning, I think like Aston Villa has announced their Champions League prices, and the fans are like, what is happening? You're blocking the sales. It's like at £98, I think the is.
We run the festival in Wrexham, of course, and Wrexham is probably the most famous example of like, it was a fan-owned club, and that made it very attractive to the Hollywood owners coming in.
Wow.
Because they didn't have any debts. And also it had like a huge, like a historic following, so it was kind of like a bit of a sleeping giant in that area. But of course, what's happened now, the initial success has also alienated a lot of the hardcore fans because they don't have any say in any of the decisions regarding the club in a way that, 5 years ago, the fans were driving the club forward. So success was very much quite a grand grassroots thing.
Yeah.
And now they kind of love the success, but they do moan a lot about kind of like the lack of control of them. Like listen to developments of the club and how they do the stars, fans' wishes.
Yeah.
And also there's this like weird resentment as well about the new fans, because obviously now there's fans from all over the world. But the club needs those fans. So it's a tough balance in all clubs.
You weren't here when we were in the National League, you were in the lower leagues, and that kind of, you didn't suffer.
Where were you when we were playing, I don't know, second?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, I get that.
Yeah.
So I understand,
And I guess the thing about Arsenal is that there's not so, Arsenal have always been, as far as I ever remember, they've always been at the top there or thereabouts, which I expect them to be. One of the capitals simply is firmly the best. But I guess this year's the other side, it should be about a ticket prices, that's merchandise. And everything else, but people can't afford to to go to games, but that's what it costs if you get
Just success is expense.
I mean, when we were conceiving of the festival, I think we threw a really tricky brief at the designers was this idea is like, it has to be both nostalgic, because it's an older, or it's definitely an older audience that are interested in politics and with all the kind of social consciousness aspect of it. But also it has to be forward looking, because it's going to be a bit progressive. And I think that was, I hope they've managed to capture that in what they've done, even like using bits of AI at the same time as using very nostalgic imagery.
Yeah, no, I think they bang on, yeah.
Design elements, but an old photo, but kind of abstract in it. And I just wondered what are the sorts of briefs that you will get in terms of like working at our style? Well, you turn up on Monday morning, and they say, Bertan, here's the brief. Create magic. I don't know.
It's very different. I mean, it's obviously like, yes, a club like Arsenal, there are like a million things to do. There's the program, there's the social media sets, there's the match day social media sets, merchandise, those have to be put.
My favorite shirt.
Yeah, no, I like that section, yeah. The new merchandise keeps coming on, they have to be promoted, yeah.
Yeah. So your work would be you design the layout on a page, or?
Yeah, so with the program, it's mostly designed at the beginning of the season. It's sort of like templated. Then for every match day, you get new content coming in, and obviously you have to modify some stuff. You have to make some adjustments on the go. But mostly it's done pre-season.
Yeah. So this is a classic one. It is a bit of nostalgia.
Yeah.
There's a bit of nostalgia with the shirt, my favourite shirt.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a little bit of nostalgia with this ceremony, don't you?
But then we've got the Invincibles.
Yeah, this was last year's program, so it was like 20 years of Invincibles. So every program would have an Invincible section.
But then, of course, we've also got like the kind of progressive, forward-looking stuff about the women's team as well. Yeah. It's interesting. There's a lot more kind of nostalgic content than I would have expected. So that's the what is that? That's the match day program. It's a tricky thing.
Yeah.
In ways. That's a lot of work for you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the heavy lifting is done pre-season, but
So you're working at Socrates,
yeah,
and then how did you end up in Arsenal?
I moved to UK basically in 2017, as many Turks had moved abroad. So it just didn't feel like home at that point, and we were thinking about starting a family. My girlfriend, then girlfriend, now wife, and we just like, do we want to do it here? And I said the answer was no. So I did my master's here as well in the UK, so there was some bit of familiarity. In 2017, I moved.
So you took a risk. So you didn't come with a job in mind.
No. It was this with the infamous Turkish business person visa. I moved to do freelance work here, and I had to leave Socrates, which I loved. It. Yeah. I think exactly I worked 2 years there exactly, and I was very happy. It was like family. I was probably doing the best work I've ever done because they gave me so much freedom, and they trusted in me. And when I tried new things, they let me go on. They let me try those, and they pushed me forward. That gave me a lot of experience in real design, a lot of experience in sports. And when I came here, of course, freelance work, you have to promote yourself. I did my website, took photos, and it was very much sports based. It's like I would say like 75% was Socrates. And I came here in 2017, did some work. 2018, around November, I think, Arsenal's program designer, actually, the matchday program designer had left. So they needed someone temporarily to cover the design work until they found any permanent designer. And these things work through like recruitment agencies. And by chance, they were talking with my agency, one of my agencies, and my portfolio, as I said, was very sports based.
Yeah.
So that house, they liked what they saw, thankfully. They called me in for 2 months, I think. I worked on the program, and that's how I got in, and we got along well. I liked the people, people liked me. And then when the program was done, I started getting more work from Arsenal. Yeah, and 6 years.
Let's compare the big jump. So you can work for Socrates, which is like magazine. You can do what you want,
Yeah,
and then you've got to work like one of the biggest Premier League clubs, one of the biggest clubs in the world,
Yeah.
potentially. But one of the big challenges here as a designer when we're working there.
I think you're much bigger audience. You have to be obviously design-wise, it's much more limited because there's a brand guidelines and then the things you have to adhere to. As in Socrates, I mean, obviously the magazine has that visual identity, but they kind of gave me free reign over there, so I had to try everything, new thing every month. So design-wise, obviously you have to be more concerned, and it's just a much bigger audience. After a while, I started at Arsenal. I started in match day work as well. So basically, you do the stuff you see on social media on match days, the lineup graphics, the full-time graphics. That's a different challenge. Like home games, you come here to the stadium, you do within the stadium. Away games, you work from home, but it's a rush. It's a different kind of buzz. You work on the clock. You have to prepare images. If it's a close game, you have to kind of think of every scenario. Do we score? Do we concede? Get those things ready, and then publish your work to you. You will put online, and then like 25,000 people sees in a minute, and it's just
What a buzz.
it's a buzz, yeah. It's honestly a buzz, yeah.
So are you working in a team of two? Are you working with a copywriter there? Are you guys together?
A bigger team, yeah.
Bigger team.
Concerning the program or the match day work?
Match day, yeah.
Match day, yeah, there's a bigger team. So there's editorial guys, a couple of them. There's usually like my main contact, so we try to keep looking. There are other social media guys who are like posting images, so you have to be wary of that. So, okay, I'm preparing a full-time graphic. I'm using this image. Has anyone used this? Because they're just putting images like action photos from 30 minutes in. It's nil, what was. And their images put on X, on Instagram, on Facebook. I prepare the image. They prepare the copy. I just send them. They put the image. The copy is written, and they just send it.
How long does that take? What, from start to finish on a post?
I say 15 minutes. So like first 30 minutes, I kind of watch the game, just look at the photographs with the corner by. Then in 30 minutes in, I just say, okay, put the score in, whatever, and just go live. So it takes usually 15 minutes, yeah. If it's a tight game, a little bit more.
I thought we worked in the flesh on general election campaigns, but that's another level.
But computer went, yeah, it just wouldn't work properly. It just kept crashing. I think the most stressful day I had in my professional career, just like they would crash 5 times in one half, 6 times in another half, and I have to just the blue screen was it's horrible.
The gods weren't with Arsenal that day.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you can explain that to the Arsenal fans because obviously there was like a.
In terms of design, the loss sadly helped me because when you lose, the output is so much minimal.
Yeah.
Just a full-time graphic, maybe a highlights graphic, whatever. When you win, there's so much more output. So in that sense, I got off easy, but obviously I'd rather.
So what are the joys? What are the we talked about the challenges, but what are the best things about working with Arsenal?
Like I said, it's a massive audience. Like how we're doing this is because you guys saw my name on the program. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this. So it's just having an audience is really good. When the team is successful, that match day work is really good. I mean, I've been here for 6 years, so I've seen the lows as well. Sometimes it's just no energy. There wasn't any energy like that. Now it's buzzing for the past 2 years. Just you go to a game, it's just it uplifts
and
you.
I guess you were part of that as well.
Yeah.
That's what you do. It's fuel, isn't it? Because it's social media it's fuel on an already fire, but you make it bigger and bigger, and it feeds back onto you.
Exactly, it's much more joyous. Really, just when there's the energy, that buzz, the electric in the stadium. It's just I gotta find a good image. I mean, obviously you try your best always, but it's just like an extra juice.
I guess watching the game is also a good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but like I said, like you watch the first 30 minutes, then you crunch time, which is.
You get to meet the players and the staff and manager.
I'm freelance, so not that much.
They should keep you away.
They also always have like events for the staff, for the players and the staff. I think they get together. They have those like dinners. So if you were full time, much more stuff. Freelance, not so much. Christmas lunches sometimes.
What's your top game last season?
The one
Not
I won.
the Aston Villa game.
Not the Aston Villa game. It's a good question. I have to go back. I remember the one from previous season, Tottenham game. I was there. That was great.
What was the result?
3-1 or 3 something. Yeah.
So Arsenal fans will like that one when we
Yeah.
put this one on social media. Just to remind everyone, sorry Tottenham fans.
I know I didn't get the score wrong. Because I did like a couple of seasons, I did Tottenham games back to back and they were all good.
Oh, but that's enough. I've just got a Tottenham 3-1 is enough for our clue. This is. Bertan, thank you very much for joining us.
It's my
today.
pleasure.
It's been really informative to share some ideas and to share your experience with Arsenal Football Club. And I hope the rest of the season goes well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.